this is going to be our seventh video in the George Gurdjieff series, and we are going to do a comparison between what George Gurdjieff had taught to us with what WD Gann has been teaching us, right? So let's look across through this four picture and try to compare them with each other. So this is a simple circle, right? And we treat it like an octave altogether. So make it an octave, what we do is we draw a vertical line, we draw a horizontal line, and we draw two diagonal lines. Now, by doing this, what we do is we try to divide the circle into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 parts, right? So we have first of all half, which makes into two parts, then a quarter, which makes it 4 parts, and again two diagonals, which divides it into totally 8 parts together. Now we have these 8 parts, which are at perfectly 45 degrees to each other. So every part is of 45 degrees more of, right? So octaves basically is more of related to 45 degrees. This is what we can just primarily say. It's not exactly the same way, but yeah, at this thing over of in comparison to a circle, this is what it means like. Now second thing apart from that we have seen is a Gann emblem, right? So what does a Gann emblem do? We have a circle and we have a square fitted into that part, right? So this is how it exactly this is. Now, if we consider the entire circle, which is for a year, which is 365 days, or let's say considering as a complete orbit, which is there. Now, if we consider this as per a square, we have these 4 seasons which are there at the corners, right? And accordingly, the circle has been divided into 4 different parts. So each part represents a different season which is there, right? Now, if you have this emblem, probably just with the square, the circle and the square, we are trying to keep the triangle at a different stage. Now we haven't included that, just to get some clarity, right? Now you try to look at this picture and probably we have just rotated it across in this way, right? So if we try to look at the picture from this point of view, what we have done is the square is the same one, right? Only thing is probably it's been rotated by 45 degrees. That's it, nothing apart from that. So what we do over here is just to get some parallel lines, we are doing the same part, right? So what happens is again we get 4 points, right? It is just similar to this diagonal which has been over here, and we get this first, second, third, and fourth point. So this is my A corresponding over here. This is somewhere around C. This is B, and same way this is D, right? So in this way we get the same points which is there. It's the same thing, only approximately in a different way. We'll come back to this part when we will try to discuss the equinox and the solstice, which are important to us from the seasonal point of view and the directions of the market also. So we'll definitely come back to that part. So if we compare this probably in with this emblem, yes, definitely we see some similarities which are there into that part. Why? Because again this has been divided into, let's say, 90 degree. This is again dividing into 90 degree, right? Now let's go to the Kundli after that. I hope people who are not aware with Kundli as such, so this is going to be more of to do with your natal chart as such. And probably my humble request is to just go on Google to get some basic idea about Kundli as such. So yes, why I had probably tilted it with 45 degrees. Now, if you see this angle, yes, this is probably again 4 different points which are there, right? So I get 4 points on the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like we had this A, B, C, and D. So this is A, B, C, and D, right? Irrespective of the points, we just get a similar point of view which is there, right? And we have this two diagonal, the first diagonal and the second diagonal. So again, we have these diagonals over here. So if we compare with the circle as such, specifically, so this is my first point which comes over here. This is my second point which comes over here. This is the third point and the fourth point which are simultaneously been seen over here. And the diagonal, we have kept it as it is, right? So probably a comparison between the first picture, the second picture, this is the same picture which is there, and the Kundli part, right? So again, this is going to be the same thing, right? Now, if we see what WD Gann has done is he has divided the circle into 4 parts in such a way that it has come down to the seasons, right? So we've been discussing about seasons, and this is how the seasons come into picture. So to probably get a better idea about the seasons, let's go to the seasons part, right? So this is the sun at the center, and we have this entire earth. It keeps on orbiting around the sun. So once it completes one orbit, yes, it comes back to the same position. Let's say we start somewhere around from the top, right? So this is 21st of March. I'll tell you why I've taken this 21st March. Again, this is considering to what WD Gann has been teaching us. Same way we start from this 21st of March. We don't consider or give more importance to the 1st of January part. But yes, this prima facie four dates are very important for us. So starting from 21st of March, so we go to 21st of June. So this is somewhere around again 3 months. So we consider this as the first season, which is spring. So from 21st of June, again we go to 23rd of September, probably a day and two here and there is okay. So this covers entirely your summer part, right? And when we go from September accordingly towards 22nd of December, this is your autumn, and then the winter, which is there, right? So these are the four seasons which have been considered, right? This, even if I consider as an entire circle, this becomes my 1, 2, 3, 4 dates which are there. Now these are prima facie very important, right? Because these are being considered as the change of season. This change of season is very important because at times the market also change its direction, right? So as I told you, yes, 21st of March is important because it is the start of the spring part as such, and it is called as the spring equinox. Then we have 21st of June, which is the summer solstice, right? When one of the hemispheres is totally away from the sun and it's winter over here and it's totally summer. So start of the summer, and then we have the entire summer which is there, which comes to 23rd of September. This is again called as the autumnal equinox, again an important date. And from this 23rd of September, we go towards 22nd of December, winter solstice. Winter solstice is primera facie, very important. This we have seen in Göbekli Tepe and other monolithic details that we discussed across, including the pyramids of Gizeh. So if you are not aware about this part, my humble request is please to go across through some of the videos. Try to go on Unit of Technical Analysis YouTube channel and try to just search across for those videos. You'll be able to get that. There is a series of around 10 to 12 videos regarding this date, these things which are pertaining to dates. So this are prima facie the four importance that we dates that we have. And yes, WD Gann has specially talked about these dates directly, indirectly. Let's go to that part. So here, if I consider this is the book is WD Gann Master Commodity Course. So if you go on this Master Commodity Course and see chapter 18, right? Chapter 18, and the page number is for chapter number 18 is 365. And yes, if we see one of this first picture, right? So this is not a picture exactly, yes, but page number is 368. Let's try to probably go through that and try to understand this, right? So what you get first of all is a square. So this square is as per square of 9 that we have seen. Yes, I'll just come down to the details, but prima facie, let's try to look it from a border picture. So this is my entire square. This is there, and then we have a circle, right? The first circle, the second circle, the third circle, and a point at the center, right? So probably why these centers are there or why these different circles are there, we are going to go into or maybe see this into the second phase of videos pertaining to George Gurdjieff. We'll not discuss this at one part because this is probably at the next level. So we need to have first of all the basic understanding, and then probably after that maybe somewhere around again 7, 8 more videos we'll be starting with that part, right? So have some patience for that. So first of all, this thing is there. As I told you, yes, there is a square. So this is square of 9, and then we have this circle which is there, right? Now let's try to zoom it across and try to see some details, right? So before that, yes, this is my first vertical line, and we have this horizontal line, right? So probably let's try to zoom it across. So I have this vertical line and my horizontal line. This horizontal vertical lines talk about the equinox on solstice. We'll come to that when we discuss about the date parts also into that. But if you see the square, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Then we go to the next figure, which is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 till 25, right? So this square which is there, this starts from the square numbers. Let's say, for example, the first square is 9, the second square is 25, the third square is 49, 81. So these are all square of odd numbers, right? So if you see on one diagonal which is there, so this is the diagonal. Let's say prima facie, this is my vertical line, this is my horizontal line, and these are my two diagonals, right? So on these diagonals, what I get is on this first diagonals on the left hand side, left downside, if I see, I get squares of 1, 9, 25, 49, 81, 121, 169. These are all squares of odd numbers. On the opposite side of this, I see 4, 16, 36, 64, 100, 144, right? So probably let me just zoom it across. So 1, 9, 25, 49, 81, 121, 169, 225, 289, and so on. This keeps on continuing, right? Same way on the opposite side, if we see, we have 4, then 16, then 36, 64, 100. So these are all squares of even numbers. So odd number square on one side, even number squares on one side. This is how this has been put across. And probably just to have a clearer picture of more details, probably these are the angles which have been put down, right? So this is the date of September, which is 180°. This is one more date of October. So in this way, the dates have been put up. So let's say we start somewhere around from the top part, right? So this, yep. So this is my 0° and the date is 21st of March. So we start from this, and this is being considered as East, right? So this is my first part. And in terms of days, we have this 6 a.m. This is for the intraday part. Why? Because there is something called as within the wheels. We'll come back to that part, but let's try to look at the bigger picture first of all. So we have this 21st of March, which has been considered as 0°, and from there the market does start. So this is more of in clockwise direction, right? Someone says that it is anti-clockwise, someone says it is clockwise. Yet, but on left hand side, if we start from here, this is 0 east, right? 21st of March in terms of date. So we go to the next date from here, which is going to be April. Then we have the corner part, which is May, right? And now this is somewhere around 9 a.m. and this is somewhere around 45 degrees. So from 45 degrees, we go to 90°, which is 21st of June. Again, we have seen this in terms of equinox solstice date, right? Just to show you it once again. So this is 21st of March, then we go to June part, right? So from June, this is 90° because we have 3 months which has been completed, and in 3 months we get one season. We go to the next date after that. So probably we'll consider this date in terms of degrees part, right? So from here we go to the next corner, which is 135°, and the dates are accordingly being given. This is August. So we had June, then July, then August, then we had August end, and then we had September. So September, it completes 180°, right? So this is like from March onwards till September, this is 180°. And if we try to represent this over on this date, yes, we have 21st of March, and on the opposite side, we have 23rd of September, which is like completing 180°, because this is then the next 180 degrees, right? So we had this September date, which is there, and this has been considered as 6 p.m. because the first date was AM, then we turn across to PM. Then we have the next date, which has been coming up. This is November, and from there we go to December. So this is again 225°, and we come to 270°, right? In terms of equinox solstice. Yes. So from this part, we are come down to December 22nd. This is winter solstice. And from this part, again, after 30 days, we go to 21st of March, which is again a 90° turn. So here it is 90°, 180, then we come to 270, and then probably we'll be closing it back again on the 0° or 360° completion. So this is again coming back in terms of date is 21st of December, and probably this is the midnight time which is there, and in terms of degree, this is going to be 270°, right? And from there we have 4th of February, right? Again, 4th of February is being considered as an important date. And yep, so this is January, and this is southeast, and in terms of degree, this is going to be 315. And then we have the end part, which we come to 360°, 6 a.m. morning, completion of a circle. right? So this is plus prima facie in terms of the dates. Why? Because the dates are very important. We need to understand how the dates have been kept across and why they have been kept. What is the logic of that? Right, so we say that the cycle of the earth, if we measure it across, we will be measuring out from 21st of March, that is been considered an east. Then we go to the opposite direction, that is west, and then accordingly we have north and south, right? So this is in terms of the square of 9 part, right? So which has been given on the square of 9 part. Yes, we on the diagonals have the square numbers, right? So because the squares which are there, that is as per 9, then 25, 49, and this are, that's why called as square, because yes, one square completes across one number, so that's why this is a square. So there is a basic definition which goes across, and why doesn't it fit into it. There is lots of science which have been involved, why those numbers have been basically called as numbers, why those figures are basically called as square, because if you put across the numbers, you get those definite figures which are there, that's why they are called as that specific figure. So ahead of this, if we go across, so this was on the square part. If we go across, and yes, we need to come down from maybe the month part to the day part, which is, we can consider it as intra-day as such. So definitely we'll come down to that part also. So we go to the next chapter, probably try to understand or see more details. So here, more of details have been given. So if you haven't gone through this book, probably go through this book. If you don't have this book, just place across a message across either on the YouTube channel below this in terms of comments. I'll set across the book to you. But for that, again, you need to request me on Telegram, because YouTube doesn't allow attachments. So yes, that is a bad part and a good part also. So we go to the next chart. Yes, this is the chart, and again we see, yes, this is the east which is been kept over here. The west is been kept of the opposite direction, right? The hexagon, it goes in anti-clockwise direction as such, but yes, it doesn't matter, right? So this is again a 360-degree chart, and if we try to interpret that, so that was probably more of in terms of square. Yes, this is a different kind of figure as such, especially. So let's try to interpret this also. Let's look at the figures first of all. So yes, figures are again in terms of starting from this corner, which is the right hand side. And why this is the right hand side corner is because it comes to 0, and the date again is the same March, and this has been considered as this. So this is east. If we have east, that would be March and 0 degree, and then we'll start from there. So 1 2 3 4 in the anti-clockwise direction. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9. This is 1 2 6 6 to 12, and then coming to 24. So this is more of, you can say that, okay, this is a 24 hours clock as especially, and the numbers keep on going around in the same way, right? So prima facie, again, it has got its own important things, right? We'll probably not try to discuss this more of in details over here at this stage. Why? Because these are more of, like, can say that this can be the importance of this are something different and not to be covered across in this video as especially. So let's go to our important part that we wanted to see across over here. So yes, again, in terms of dates and considering for the intraday part, because WD Gann says that it is day for a year, year for a day. So why it consider that? Because everything was been kept in a circle. So if we start with the circle, yes, it starts from 6 a.m. and the timings have been kept accordingly. So it's like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 hour. The 24 hours which are there, those have been divided. So the 24 hours which we see at the bottom, at the center over here, beg your pardon, 1 to 24. So every angle is of 15 degrees, and accordingly you get this square. So this is like, let's say 90 degrees, right? The 90 degrees are again been divided. So it is first 15, then 30, then it goes to 60, and then the 90 part. That's how it has been divided. So the first angle is 15, and 15 degrees is what the calculation basically is are prima facie. So all the calculations are being done for 15 degrees, 15 degrees in terms of price value, 15 degrees in terms of time value, as in terms of the movement also. So everything is been basically considered in terms of 15 degrees. Squaring of time and price is also been prima facie in terms of this 15 degrees only. So yes, we start from 0, then go to 15, 30, again in the same way, 45. And if you see in terms of time, yes, this 6 a.m., then 7, then 8, 9. So if you see as per the center, yes, every hour is been to a specific 15-degree, right? So movement happens in that way. Probably that's why this has been given that kind of consideration. So timing is again coming to the same part in terms of degrees. So you go for either that part or that this part. End of the day, all calculations are going to be same. When you convert those things into degrees, right? Because this is a circle. So for a circle, all the things should be in the same way, right? And when we consider those things together as a circle more of, so as a circle, yes, you can divide it either in the form of a square or maybe in terms of this hexagonal part. This way, that way, it's going to be the same. It won't be making any kind of difference as such. Specifically, why? Because this entire has been divided into 24 parts, which is of 15-degree each, and the calculations are accordingly 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, and that is how it goes on, right? So you can consider for an entire year, you can consider it for an entire day of 24 hours. It's going to be the same thing. There's no basic difference. That's why WD Gann has taught year for a day, day for a year. Why did he say that? Because the year accordingly has 360 degrees, and again the same day, yes, it can be calculated on the same circle in terms of rotation and revolution. It's going to be the same thing, 360 degree. That's why it's called year for a day or day for a year. It's the same thing, right? So only thing basically you need to know is you need to start from 0 degree, that is 21st of March east, and then from east you go to west, that is upwarded side. From March you go to September, right? And probably again, that is how the clock runs across. So prima facie, these two are important things here. The most important thing was to consider the octaves which are there, and also try to understand the basic difference between or maybe trying to just understand and interpret how these emblems are been divided. And this octave which is there, again, if you consider 45 degrees, yes, you can have again two lines in between that, so that you can divide this 45 degrees into 15 degrees and you get multiples of 15 degrees accordingly, right? Emblem again is in a similar part over there, right? So prima facie, if we try to just see and analyze those things together, it becomes more of into the same thing. Everything is more of like a circle, and things are divided as per the circle. So this is how it is, and this is how we will be able to calculate in terms of time. Because once you understand time, probably rest of the things become a bit easier to understand overall, right? So yes, we saw this overall as such specifically. So considering the entire circle and taking it in terms of what WD Gann has taught us in the master commodity course. And of course, he has taught us some really important thing, that is dates, why these 4 dates are important. And not only those 4 dates, also you can consider this 8 dates accordingly, or maybe even go more for 12. So WD Gann tried to divide everything in terms of 8 and 12. Why? Because 8 is like again divided into 45 degrees, which comes to probably 8 important dates. And if you try to divide this into 12, it should be like every 30 degree. So 30, 30, 60, then 90. So this makes 3 and 4 threes are 12. That is for every zodiac sign, or maybe for every month which is there, or accordingly for in terms of hours. Yes, definitely you can go for 15 degrees, which will be making it 1 hour. 30 degrees would be then 2 hours, right? And that's how the clock has been invented for 24 hours also. There are different scientific details which probably we don't want to get into, because that is becomes another session for explanation as such. So prima facie, most important thing over here is the date parts which we need to understand. So this was the details as such specifically pertaining to this. One more important thing is, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel till now, our humble request is to please subscribe to the YouTube channel. There are various videos pertaining to WD Gann, and now also pertaining to George Gurdjieff. We have the videos which are there in English as well as in the local language. This is Hindi. So please do like the videos first of all, and also comment on the videos, so that we get a feedback, and accordingly we can start making some better videos. And if you want any specific topics, also do let us know, so that we can start preparing on the basis of those topics also. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.